Hey, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm gonna talk about top 5 best SSD for gaming. Starting at number 5. Sabrent Rocket 4 Plus. The Sabrent Rocket 4 Plus offers phenomenal sequential performance and comes with advanced software to push the drive to its very limits. The brand claims that the drive can reach sequential speeds of up to 7,000 megabytes per second read and 6,850 megabytes per second write depending on the capacity. In our testing, the Sabrent Rocket 4 Plus absolutely flew when benched through Crystal Disk Mark with 1 gigabyte per second read and 6 gigabytes per second write respectively, exceeding the quoted read figures and coming very close to the projected write rates. As far as downsides go for the Sabrent Rocket 4 Plus, there's ultimately little to report other than the thermal performance, as this model can get a little warm when under stress. We noticed the drive reached 65 degrees at one point, which is noticeably warmer than some other units we've had pass our rigs in the past. Some other Ssd E18-based SSDs run cooler than this, but as long as you've got a good heatsink on board, it's unlikely to be much of a problem in the grand scheme of things. Really, it's in the largest size available that the Sabrent Rocket 4 Plus shines the brightest, especially when considering that the Samsung 980 Pro and WD Black SN850 Gen 4.0 drives currently don't come close to that kind of size range. On the performance front, however, the Sabrent Rocket 4 Plus can indeed hit those promised 7,100 megabytes per second read and 6,600 megabytes per second write, making it one of the top performing Gen 4.0 drives out on the market right now. Coming at number 4. Kingston Fury Renegade 2 TB. The Kingston Fury Renegade impresses across the board as one of the best SSDs for gaming on the market right now, with its stated speeds reaching upwards of 7,000 MBs. We're happy to report that this drive really is the real deal when it comes to blazing fast performance, perfect for direct storage. Our benchmarks don't lie, and neither did Kingston. The Fury Renegade achieved read and write speeds of 7,344. Of course, raw numbers mean nothing if the in-game performance can't back it up. Fortunately, loading and transfer times were as close to instant as you would hope for from a drive of this caliber. Briefing touching on transfer times, we noted that Cyberpunk 2077, a 64.88 GB game, took only 22.66 seconds being written from one NVMe drive to the Kingston. It's a similar story with Destiny 2, and its 73.5 GB of content, which made the jump between drives in just 28 seconds. Loading times were all but non-existent as well, as we were able to jump into Halo Infinite's main campaign in a mere 18 seconds, straight into gameplay. At number 3. Seagate FireCuda 530. Seagate, one of the biggest names in storage, has been a long time coming to the very top rung of the best SSDs for gaming. But with the Seagate FireCuda 532 TB, it's absolutely up there with the big boys. In part thanks to the use of the excellent Ssd E18 controller, we found in our testing that the FireCuda 532 TB lived up to the claimed figures of 7,300 megabytes per second and 6,900 megabytes per second read, making this drive one of the faster Ssd E18-based SSDs around. We clocked just over 7 gigabytes per second and just shy of the 6.9 gigabytes per second read figure. We clocked 83 megabytes per second 4K reads and 251 megabytes per second writes, which still offers a great experience, however, doesn't quite hit that 300 megabytes per second figure that the WD Black SN850 can. If you can say all that of most drives based on the Ssd E18 controller, the FireCuda's epic 2,550 terabytes write endurance rating is something really exceptional. It's also worth noting that this drive is fully compatible with the Sony PS5 and is optionally available with a PS5 optimized heatsink. All told, it's one heck of an SSD, albeit available for one hell of a lot of money. Number 2 of my list. Samsung 980 Pro. The Samsung 980 Pro is one of the best SSDs for gaming at the Gen 4 end of the spectrum that's on the market right now, and it's made even more appealing by the fact that it's regularly on sale. Keep in mind that this particular NVMe drive only goes up to 2 TB capacity, but if you're wanting to operate within that 1 TB to 2 TB range, then you can't go wrong with the performance on offer. Our testing found that the Samsung 980 Pro very much lived up to those claimed 7,000 MB per second read and 5,000 MB per second write claims. We clocked the drive at 6.7 GB per second read and 4.0 feature, which essentially acts as a boost to write more data than its predecessors, including the 970 EVO Plus, at much faster, more consistent rates. It should be noted that the SSD comes with specialist software, Samsung Magician, in order to track the health of your drive, as well as tweak any settings to your liking, which could be particularly important if you're not using a heatsink. But we definitely recommend using one to keep those core temperatures down. It's worth pointing out that you can also buy the coveted SSD with a built-in heatsink, too, though it's significantly more expensive than the drive on its own. And number 1. WD Black SN850. Right now, cutting-edge contenders for the best SSD for gaming don't deliver big benefits over cheaper drives in-game. Tested here in 1 TB form and also available in 500 GB and 2 TB capacities. The SN850 is an absolute screamer thanks to its quad-lane PCIe Gen 4 interface, shiny new controller chipset, and a large 300 GB chunk of its SanDisk 96L 3D TLC flash memory, running in superfast SLC cache mode. WD claimed that the SN850 can push 7,000 MB per second and 5,000 MB per second read and write respectively. Our testing found that the WD Black SN850 lived up to the claimed figures, with 6,996 MB per second read and 5,205 MB per second write, actually surpassing the quoted figures. Where it really scores, however, is in 4K random performance, which is arguably more important in terms of how responsive your PC feels. WD's confidence in the SN850's broader longevity is likewise indicated by the 5-year warranty and 6 TB write rating, all of which means our only reservations with this excellent SSD involve cooling and pricing. For the former, there is none as standard, which is a slight concern given this SSD can run hot. Check out this video description for latest price and more informations. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe and stay tuned.